Hello and welcome back to What It Feels Like. We will be continuing where we left off, which, if you recall, is after Mylo and Baxter decided to form a little union of sorts in order to get back at their situationships. And this will entail dating each other, even though they barely know each other. But yeah. So what prompted this was that Mylo spent another night with his friend, Jacob, and unfortunately pretty much came to the realization that Jacob is not going to commit, or he just doesn't want to, or has issues with committing, or whatever is going on in that guy's head. And he kind of wants to get back at him to, I guess, make him realize, like, hey, dude, you can't keep doing this to me, because sooner or later I'm just going to get tired of it, and, yeah. But then again, this guy is kind of obsessed with the other guy, so, is he going to stick to the plan, or what? We'll have to find out eventually. Anywho, so, yeah. What else? Oh, Baxter is the new guitarist for the band, so that complicates things a little, but perhaps it might actually help a little, too, because that means that it could look like he's actually in a relationship with this guy, so yeah. Anywho, so yeah. Without further ado, let us continue What It Feels Like. I remember a time when Sleep and I used to get along so well. The bed was my friend, and I was its willing, eager to let my body succumb to its all-too-short nights of bliss. These days, not so much. The time that I spend asleep is incredibly short, to the point where I think the dark circles under my eyes are starting to become permanent. I sleep late and wake up early, such is the fate of someone who goes out in the middle of the night. But oh, the Thursdays that I get to stay in bed for just a little while longer, these are the mornings that make me remember how things used to be, and how much I miss the feeling of being wrapped in a warm blanket in a cold March morning. When my classes don't start until later on in the morning, and I can lounge around, get a few extra hours of much-needed sleep. I'm going to kill myself. I angrily sit up and grab my phone, not even checking who's calling me, and answer with the iciest tone that I can muster in my groggy, sleepy state. What? Well, good morning to you too, sunshine. Baxter, it's 7 in the morning. It's closer to 8 right now, actually. What do you want? To tell you that the hottest guy in school is outside your front door right now. What? Who's... Baxter? Yes? What the hell are you doing outside my house? Aw, you knew that it was me just from the description. You must like me already. Baxter. Alright, calm down. I just thought that we could go to class together. His tone becomes less joking and more shy and collected, and it sort of eases my anger a bit. Sort of. I don't have classes until 10, Baxter. Lucky me then. I don't have classes till 9:30. Wanna have breakfast with me in the meantime? My hand tightens around my phone as I feel my anger slowly melt away, which in turn makes me angrier. Weird paradox, but that seems to be the standard for being around Baxter, always hot and cold. Are you seriously outside my house right now? Yeah, and I'm fucking freezing, so either tell me to get lost, or get your bony little ass out here. Okay, fine. Give me 10 minutes. Don't keep me waiting too long. I glare at my phone, as if it were his face when I hang up the call, and with a heavy sigh, I get up and start to get dressed. The smell of breakfast fills the air when I make my way downstairs, and I find my mom sitting on the couch when I reach the living room watching the morning news on her phone and eating a single piece of toast with avocado on it. How she can stomach eating an avocado every morning, I'll never figure out. Good morning. Morning. I look for my keys as I avoid looking her in the eye. I know the look that she's giving me. It's always followed by a question, and just like clockwork, It doesn't take too long for her to ask it. What are you doing up so early? Nothing. Just going out to have breakfast with the band. Technically not a full life progress. Oh, Lizzie and Wyatt are outside? She sits up to look out the window that goes out to the front lawn, no doubt looking for Wyatt's car. No. We're meeting them at the restaurant. We? We got a new band member yesterday. He's in our college. I found my keys and quickly grabbed them, then start making my way out the door. Oh, you didn't tell me that last night. Yeah, he's waiting for me outside. I'll tell you about it later, okay? If you ever plan on staying for dinner. I stop as I'm about to open the front door. Something about the way that she said that makes it feel like she's actually upset about it. And for a moment, I feel bad that it's been so long since she and I had a moment together. But I shake the feeling away. I've got too much going on right now. When things finally reach a point where I can stay a night, I'll give her all the time in the world. For now, I need to stay focused. That's what Baxter's for, right? I will, soon. Things have just been a little hectic lately. Just don't bite off more than you can chew, okay? And you know that you can always talk to me about anything, right? Yeah, of course, Mom. Good. Then I'll see you tonight. Okay. Love you. Love you too, Mom. Walking out the door, I see him, looking straight up into the sky as he watches his breath fog up in the air. The sight of him, the sort of handsome cheetah leaning on his bike, waiting for me, makes my heart skip a beat and our situation finally starts to sink in. I'm about to start a relationship with Baxter Abernathy, and that's terrifying as fake as it may be. You're crazy, you know that. He opens his eyes when he hears me get close to him, and he immediately lights up, standing straighter and flashing me that winning smile of his. Why? I mean, I know, but why do you think so? You had zero clue on what my schedule is like, and yet you come to my house and pick me up in the hopes that I'd answer the phone when you called? What can I say? I'm a very hopeful guy. Right. By the way, I looked it up when I got home. Turns out that it isn't illegal to drive without a helmet, so we're good to go, Russo. Seriously? You think that'd be a safety hazard? Oh, it is. That's why you're wearing the helmet and I'm risking my life for you. What a gentleman. Anyways, I'm fucking starving. Get on already. He climbs on and hands me his helmet. Once I'm straddled behind him, I hesitantly grab onto his torso, unsure of where his body to rest my hands on. Wow, I didn't even have to ask you this time. You're warming up to me fast. Just shut up and drive, like a normal person this time. And for the record, my ass is not bony. He pats my thigh, sighing. You keep telling yourself that, Russo. He revs the engine, and before I know it, we're on the road, making our way out to the town. As per my request, Baxter does drive like a normal person, but even then we get to the cafe in a matter of minutes. I underestimated the speed of motorcycles, I guess. It's got a decent amount of people here, but we managed to find a table outside pretty quickly, and once we're settled in, he leans back on his chair, stretching his arms over his head. Order whatever you want, I'll treat ya. No offense, but do you even have a job to be able to throw your money around like that? I do, actually. Part-time at the supermarket on weekends. And they pay well? Not really, but a guy's gotta eat, right? Yeah. I make a mental note to pay him back when we leave the restaurant, although something tells me that he's the type to refuse the money. A waiter comes in and takes our orders, and after he leaves, and about a minute of awkward silence, Baxter leans on the table and stares me down. So, how's this gonna work, Russo? There's an unfamiliar nervousness to him, not unlike how he was when he was auditioning, but that smile never leaves his face. His nerves pass on to me, though, and I'm wringing my hands underneath the table. Well, you tell me. It was your idea. True that, but I wanted to know what you think is our game plan. I think about this. Game plan? I guess it makes sense that we aren't just gonna jump into this without preparing ourselves for anything. What is the end goal of our fake relationship? Well, I'm not so sure. Something make our crushes jealous, right? That's the simplified version, yeah. But you do know what that entails, don't you? Just being your boyfriend publicly, right? But for this to work, it has to be very public. Oh? Oh yeah, I'm talking making out in the halls types of public. We have to make out? The horror in my voice only brings out a bigger grin on his face, and he leans in even closer. Is kissing me so terrible, Russo? I mean, I wouldn't say that, but, well, we barely know each other. Wouldn't it be weird if we just started kissing out of nowhere? So what you're saying is, you want to get to know me better before making out with me. That's not at all what I'm saying. No, it makes sense. I mean, if we go public, people are gonna ask questions, and if they figure out that we're practically strangers, it'll look super bad for us. He taps the table with his palms, making me jump. So that's what we'll do today. Tell me everything about you and I'll do the same. Everything? Yeah, I want to know it all. Do you pick your boogers? What's the color of your underwear? Ketchup or mustard? All that jazz. God, maybe I should have thought this through a bit more. Okay. I'm not telling you all that, but I will tell you the basics for now. Good enough. He drums rolls the table in anticipation, and I fail to resist the urge to roll my eyes at him. Man, this guy is just a ball of energy, huh? Alright, here goes. Mylo Russo, 21, 22 in September, majoring in business administration. I'm in a band called the Dead End Lovers, and I'm the lead singer/songwriter. I have an older sister named Emma, and I live with my parents. And, I'm single, currently. Never had a boyfriend. He nods, a serious look on his face now, as if he needs to look like he's actively listening in order to process everything that I said. Well, you got one thing wrong. Huh? You're not single. You know what I mean. Do I, really? Okay, my turn. Baxter Abernathy, 22 in May. I'm majoring in finance, and I moved here from West Virginia, so I'm renting out an apartment. No siblings and just a mom. Dad's around, I guess, but I'm not in contact with him. And I have a beautiful border collie boyfriend named Russo. That's what you're supposed to do next time. I'll keep that in mind. Well then, now we're past from strangers to acquaintances. Level 2 relationship. Yay. Now you're getting it. He leans back and crosses his arms, thinking. Tell me about your sister. Oh, What's there really to say? I chuckled nervously, glancing out the window. I stay quiet for a moment, hoping that he'll take the hint and change his question. But nope. He just sits there, patiently waiting for an answer. Well, I guess I just can't shut him out, can I? Our relationship is a little rocky. On one hand, she's my sister, and I grew up with her, so of course I care about her. We get along well when it's just the two of us, without either of our parents around, but when they are there, it kind of just seems like we're always competing. Competing for what? I shrug. I don't know. Approval, I guess? Trying to be the better kid, trying not to be the disappointment, things like that. Sounds, draining. It can be, but she moved out last year, so it hasn't been a problem lately. Do you miss her at all? Yeah, sometimes. Talking about Emma puts me on edge. For most of my life, I grew up in her shadow, and I was never able to surpass her. Everything I did, she could do better, and even now, she's studying medicine in some elite college in Chicago, and I'm still here. Even in her absence, I can't escape her outshining me. I don't tell Baxter any of this, though. It's a little too personal for now. Anyway, what about you? Why'd you come all the way over here to Wisconsin? Does West Virginia not have good colleges? Uh, nah, not really. Pretty much everyone I knew from high school went to a different state for college. Honestly, Wisconsin just seemed cool. It's super close to the beach, and it's way nicer here in Ashland than my hometown. Your hometown must be really something if Ashland is better. What's wrong with Ashland? It's, it's so bland. There's no tourist attractions, nothing to make it stand out. Honestly, I'd love to be anywhere else. Hmm, well, maybe it's a hometown thing. Grass is always greener sort of mentality. Yeah, maybe. Besides, the girls are way cuter here than Pricefield. Are all the girls hillbillies there? Yeah, we all have country accents and ride carriages to school. That explains a lot about you. What's that supposed to mean? Who knows? I didn't know that you had a sense of humor, Russo. You thought I didn't? Well, you can be kind of, bitchy. I was gonna say cranky, but bitchy works too. Cranky actually sounds more accurate. I never sleep enough these days. Yeah, I was surprised that you called me so late at night. What were you doing awake anyway? Were you with him? Yeah, I was. You don't have to be so embarrassed about it. I mean, I know by now that you two are sort of a thing. Yeah, but I don't know. It feels weird to talk about it. You're literally the first person that I've ever told. Seriously? You haven't told Wyatt and, Liz, was it? God, no. Especially not them. I'm sensing some bad blood between you guys and Jacob. Yeah, well, I told you that he was in the band. Things didn't end too pretty between us, believe it or not. Knowing Jacob, that's not too surprising. What do you mean by that? He's just kind of, what's the word? Contrarian. That's what I was trying to say. Contrarian? Really? At least I think so. Well, in any case, they have no idea about me and Jacob, so explaining this to them is going to be a little hard. I wave my hand between him and me, and he just chuckles. I just tell them that we met in finance. We got into the project together, and when I joined the band, I finally made a move on you, and you decided to give me a shot. That's actually a pretty good idea. I know, I'm full of them. Guess you're not a total meathead. You love your insults, don't you, Russo? All in good fun. Oh, I'm sure, but that makes us the perfect match. The meathead and the cute e-boy boyfriend. E-boy? Where'd you get that? I don't know, maybe the little crop top jacket that you wear. It's supposed to be punk rock. Well, it looks adorable. There he goes, complimenting me yet again. Hard to give a proper answer when he does this, but thankfully I don't have to do it this time, since our waiter comes by and serves our food. We eat quietly for a bit, just enjoying the food and the ambience. I wonder when was the last time that I had breakfast with another guy. Wyatt doesn't really count, and I've never had a one-on-one breakfast date with Jacob before. Seems like Baxter's my first. I glance at him, calmly eating his breakfast sandwich, staring out into the street. I wonder why he chose me. He could have gotten any queer guy, or hell, any girl for that matter, to just go out with him for real and make the Dahlia girl jealous. He has the looks for it, and I'm sure that he can charm the pants off of anyone who finds him at least a little attractive. So, why do you need my help? He gulps loudly, a bit surprised by my question. It doesn't seem like you have any trouble finding a girlfriend. Why doesn't Dahlia give you the time of day? Or rather, why choose Dahlia in the first place? Well, I'm not sure. Dahlia's just perfect. In my eyes, at least. She's kind of like my dream girl. She's beautiful, smart. You know, she made the Dean's List 4 semesters in a row. She's also just funny and great to be around. I like everything about her. He means it, the way his eyes light up and how he's a bit shy now that he's talking about her. He's definitely head over heels for this girl. Reminds me a lot of when Lizzie was first falling in love with Wyatt. I see. So, what's the problem? I guess she just thinks that I'm not serious about her. That I'm just some boy who's gonna lead her on in something. Well, to be fair, you do seem like a boy. I was a boy, I'll give you that. But I've changed. I'm totally boyfriend material now. Are you sure? See, you're doing exactly what she's doing. Doubting me before even giving me a chance. Well, I'll show you, and I'll especially show her just how romantic that I can be. I'm gonna spoil the out of you, and right in front of her too, so she'll know what she's missing. Spoil? Like, gifts? I smile teasingly at him, and he chuckles nervously. Emotionally spoil. Did you forget that I'm a part-timer? Damn, that's right. I don't think that this'll work out then. Fair enough. I'll introduce you to some sugar daddies then. I'm sure that they'll be right up your alley. You know sugar daddies? I surround myself with like-minded people. Shh, you're so full of shit. I get that a lot. Well, I hope our plan works then. Yeah, me too. And somehow, through our new, strange relationship, I find myself feeling like I know Baxter just a little bit better now. We drive into campus in particularly no time at all, and he parks somewhat far from the main entrance. When we're both off the bike, Baxter leans on it like he seems to like to do, crossing his arms and looking at me excitably. So, Russo, moment of truth. Yeah, how do we... We could hold hands, or you could grab onto my arm, or I could grab onto your waist, or... I think holding hands is fine. The most sinful of all, dirty dog. Shut up. As much as I'd like to play along with his jokes to lighten the mood, my nerves just won't allow me to calm down. I've never had a boyfriend before, and I don't even know if people know that I'm gay yet, so I'm terrified of being so open about it. Baxter can tell as much, and although I think he might be a little nervous too, he just rolls his eyes at me, grinning. What's the matter? I thought this is what you wanted, going public and all. What? It is. I mean, I do want it. So, why the hesitation? Don't tell me that you're a hypocrite, Russo. I'm a little stunned when he says this. Hypocrite is a strong word, after all, but aren't I upset at Jacob for not doing this with me? How could I ask something of him that I myself am not willing to do? Maybe hypocrite is the appropriate word. But it doesn't have to be. No, I can do this. As embarrassing as it is. Wow, embarrassed of me, huh? Of the situation, not of you. Have some compassion. Maybe you're used to holding hands and doing all sorts of romantic things in public, but this is a first for me, and it won't even be genuine. Hey, don't worry about it. Holding hands isn't even that big of a deal. If grade school girls can do it without batting an eye, so can two guys. Was that supposed to make me feel better? Did it work? A little. Come here. He holds his hand out to me, and after a beat, I take it, and he slowly pulls me onto his body, wrapping his arms around me in an intimate embrace. He squeezes me against him, his arms tightening around my waist, and even though he's only a couple of inches taller than me, I feel like I'm completely engulfed in his body. The smell of a cheap body spray and old laundry detergent hits my nose in an instant, and when he presses the side of his face against mine, I feel my entire body blush in embarrassment. It's amazing how natural it feels to have him hug me so intimately like this. Embarrassing, but still natural, as if on their own my arms wrap around his back too, reciprocating this warm gesture. But relax, okay? You can do this. We can do this. Let's show them that we can. My fingers cling onto his vest as his words seep into me, and my chest fills up with resolve. The reason we're doing this circles around in my mind over and over until my nerves turn into adrenaline. Yeah, I'll show him. Thanks, Bax. Sure thing, Russo. He lets go of me and smiles, his face mirroring my own resolve, and with a little nod, he grabs his helmet with his left hand, holds my paw with his right, and leads me towards the entrance. I have expected people to just ignore us, as funny as the mental image of everyone stopping what they're doing to point and gasp at us, holding hands. I knew that it was more likely that no one paid any attention to us at all. But I didn't expect all the stares, quietly looking at us, maybe in confusion, maybe judgmentally, maybe disgust. Either way, they're definitely looking now, and it only makes me 10 times more nervous than I was. Baxter lets go of my hand and instead wraps an arm around my waist, pulling me closer to his side, and I am not quite sure if this is way better or way worse. You good? He says this low and close to my ear, so no one else can hear, and I just nod. You sure? You look like you're holding in his shit. Maybe because I am. Do we have to take a detour to the bathroom, Russo? No, I'll manage. Alright, suit yourself. As we keep walking, some guys stop to say hi to Baxter, and other people wave or nod at him as we pass by, but no one ever questions what he's doing with the guy wrapped around his arm. I'm surprised no one's called us out on it, considering that we've never been seen together until today. People don't care that much. That or they won't say it to our face. I guess that makes sense. Can't say that I won't be asked about it later though. You'd be surprised how quickly word passes on around these parts. Around these parts? People tend to mind their own business more back in Pricefield. You know, I'm starting to think that place isn't even real. I've never heard of it before till today. It's a very small town. Right. He grins at me, and when we reach the classroom he's supposed to go right in, he lets me go and places his hands on my hips, pulling me closer to him. Alright, I don't think that we'll be able to hang out later. I'm gonna be busy all day today, so I'll probably be seeing you until tomorrow. Oh, right. I'll text you then. Of course, you could distract me from class. On second thought, maybe I won't. But I'll be so lonely without you. He says this extra loud, swaying my body side to side, and I awkwardly pat his chest, drawing a mental blank and getting embarrassed about it. What would I say to him if he were my actual boyfriend? We'll see each other soon, don't worry. I'll miss you too. We'll be okay. I'll pick you up tomorrow too, then. Sounds good. He pulls me in for a tight hug, and when he pulls away, he gives me a big, loud kiss on the forehead. When I feel the unmistakable glare of people around us, my cheeks start to burn up, and of course, this just plants a stupid grin on his face. See ya, Russo. Bye, Bax. And with a small ruffle of my head, he walks off, leaving me blushing alone in the hallway. I wipe my forehead from his kiss, the tingling sensation that I got from it still lingering on my fur from the spot his lips touched. I don't think anyone's ever kissed me on the forehead before, much less in public. It felt nicer than I expected it to. The usual slow days of time isn't that prevalent today, and I soon figure out why. In every class that I switch, there's someone who looks at me. In the halls, in the bathroom, in the classrooms, someone has their eyes on me everywhere that I go. I guess Baxter was right. Word does spread fast. Maybe a little too fast for my liking, though. I mean, yeah, this is going perfectly if we're just looking at the plan, but aren't I basically outing myself by doing this? I hadn't really considered how people other than Jacob and Dahlia would look at us. Would look at me, especially. And as more time passes, the more nervous I get. Has Jacob caught wind of what's been going on? How does he feel about it, if he has? The radial silence that I've grown accustomed to somehow feels louder now that I'm doing this. By the time lunch rolls around, I'm completely on edge, my anxiety not letting me feel sleepy, even though my body definitely feels the fatigue. Baxter texts me while I'm in line to get my food, and it takes my mind off of the things for a second. Guess who texted me? Dahlia? What'd she say? She was all like, hey. And I was all like, hi. Wow. She's totally into you. Mug me all you want, but she almost never texts me first. This is a win in my book. Must be a short book. Why do you hate me? Okay, I'm sorry. I guess the plan really is working. Yep, I've been getting all kinds of questions about you. Seriously? Yeah, unrelated notes. What's your zodiac sign? Virgo. Why? Ooh, yikes. What? Why yikes? I've heard bad things about Virgos. You're a Virgo phobe? Little bit, yeah. I'm heartbroken. Sorry, I think that we should see other people. It was fun while it lasted. Perhaps in another life, when you're born in a different month. What an idiot. But I guess he's surprisingly fun to talk to. Maybe this won't be as bad as I thought that it would. I think that he and I could really be friends. Who's got you smiling like that? Hey. I jumped forward, pulling away from Lizzie's wicked fingers, and in a panic, shoved my phone in my back pocket. Liz, where have you been? Girl? Don't girl me. I texted you last night and you totally ignored me. That. I was just sleepy. And let's not forget that you left me alone with Baxter last night without batting an eye. I should be the one who's pissed here. I would have never left you alone with a guy that I didn't like the vibes of. His vibes were okay. I spin around and cross my arms, turning my back to her, but she doesn't buy it for a second. Yeah, well, whatever. You should have at least texted me back today, but instead you're smiling like an idiot looking at your phone, texting someone else. And I've been hearing some suspicious things about you today. I finally reach the front of the line and I quickly get my food and escape the conversation. Thankfully, while we're looking for a table and sit down to start eating, she does drop the subject, but once we're all settled in, she comes back at me with full force. As I was saying, I've been hearing things about you today. Things like how you and that Baxter guy are dating. People like to exaggerate things. He just took me to school. And why the hell would he do that? He's nice? Nice enough to kiss you? You saw that? So it is true. I heard it from Inez. I thought that she was just bullshitting me. He kissed you? No. I mean, not really. Just on the forehead. Why? And more importantly, why didn't you tell me? I sigh, defeated. I knew that I had to tell her about Baxter, and I eventually, but I don't feel good about lying to her about it. The possibility of telling Lizzie that it's all fake has crossed my mind multiple times, but then I'd have to explain why it's fake. And obviously I can't do that, so instead I lie. Baxter asked me out last night, and I said yes, so now we're a thing. Really? Yes, really. Because I find that hard to believe. What, that Baxter likes me? No, that you liked Baxter. I thought that you said that he wasn't your type, and I kind of find it weird that he asked you out and you kept it a secret from me. I didn't keep it a secret from you. So why are you only telling me this now? I'm embarrassed of? Well, Baxter and I don't know each other super well, and he just joined our band, so I was worried that you'd say something about that. You know me well because that's exactly what I'm gonna do. What the heck, Mylo? We literally just found a guitarist and you start dating him an hour after he joins the band? I know that I teased you a lot about it last night, but I didn't think that you actually date him right away. It wasn't like that. So how was it? Okay, so it was like that. But this is different. The Baxter's a good guy. You know that I want you to be happy and find someone who's good for you. But this all just seems really unlike you. Either you're not telling me the whole truth or something's up with you, and honestly, I don't like either of these options. It feels like you've been different lately. More secretive, more secluded. I thought that it was just because of Jacob, you know? That the whole situation with him messed you up a bit, and that's why you were bummed out or something. But then you stopped wanting to hang out with us more and more, and Wyatt said that he saw you in the basketball court a couple of times. So, I guess you never really got over him? But then, why wouldn't you tell me? Liz, Is Baxter a rebound or something? It's totally cool if he is, I want you to talk to me about these things. I feel guilty when she says all this, making me stare at my plate of food with little appetite. It's true that I've been isolating myself a bit, but I never thought that it would reach the point of upsetting her like this. The truth is, I want to tell her. I want to tell her everything that's been happening, to hear her advice, to have her shake me and tell me that I'm being stupid for running after Jacob, or be there for me when he rejects me for the 100th time. But I can see it all happen. Her, disappointed and upset, telling me that he's no good for me, mad that I'm still with him after our falling out as a band. I don't want that. I don't want her to think less of me any more than she already does. I'm sorry, Lizzie. I know that I've been kind of out of it lately, but it's not because of Jacob. I'm just worried about the band, about the future and stuff. You know that I'm here to talk to you about these things though, right? Yeah, I know. It's fine though. I'm okay. Yeah, alright. If you say so. Just remember that, okay? I will. But I'd rather we talk about other things, you know? Right. We can do that then. Like, say, I don't know, your new boyfriend? Right. Come on, I want to know the ugly details of the confession. What'd he say to you? Nothing, just that he thought that I was cute and that he wanted to go out with me. Wow, who'd have thought that a guy like Baxter would like you? Am I supposed to be offended? No. I mean, like, he just seems super frat boy-like, straight. I don't know. I'm just surprised that he's into guys, I guess. Not that you're the most masculine guy out there, but you do have a... That's true. I do have a... And... Yeah, exactly. Interesting then. What do you think of him so far? He's... nice. Is that it? Well, it's only been a day. Sure, but you've got to have more of an impression than just he seems nice, right? Yeah. I mean, he's cool and handsome for sure. What'd I tell you? I knew that you'd warm up to him eventually. Although this was pretty fast, if I'm honest. Right. Although Baxter isn't really my type, spending more time around him definitely makes me appreciate him more. He may not be as hot as Jacob, but I can see why people find him charming. In any case, it's still too early to tell if I'd like him yet. I'll keep you updated though. You better. This is your first boyfriend. I want to be there for everything. You're gonna be third wheel on me. Just as much as you did on me. I sighed dramatically. I guess that's fair. Even though mine wasn't really a choice. You were still there. It's only fair I'm there for yours too. Speaking of, Where's Wyatt? I don't know. I think he's talking to a counselor. Something about fixing his schedule to be able to work part-time too. Oh, hope that hasn't been too hard on him. He's a little tired these days, but I think he's alright. Hey, why don't you come over tonight? We can hang out and just chill for a while. I'm sure that he'll appreciate the company. Although it's never certain whether or not Jacob will call me over, I like to have my nights free, just in case he does. Because more often than not, he does invite me over. We could just hang out on Saturday, right? We have band practice anyway. I don't want to really intrude. It's not an intrusion. Besides, I miss hanging out with you. The three of us hang out all the time, though. Yeah, but tonight's just not good for me. Saturday, I promise. Alright, deal. I've got class in like 10 minutes, so I'm gonna go. I'll text you later, though. Alright, no worries. She snaps her fingers loudly and points at me, glaring as she gets up. Hey, text me back this time. Okay, Mom. Good boy. She waves at me one last time before getting her things and walking out the cafeteria. The guilty feeling persists somewhere deep in my chest, and it doesn't really go no matter how hard I try and shake it away. Why don't I just tell her? We used to tell each other everything, and it scares me to think that we're drifting apart. Is it me? Is it because I'm hiding things? When did I start hiding things? When she started going out with Wyatt and I had much less time for me? So then, maybe we really did just drift apart. Maybe it's everything. I shake my head, thinking about it won't fix things. The only thing that will is change. I'm already in the first steps of changing my situation. Eventually, I'll work up the courage to tell her. For now, though. My phone buzzes in my pocket and I take it out, expecting another text from Baxter. But looking at the number makes my heart start skipping. I open the message and stare at the 5 words on my screen, somewhat in disbelief. Are you coming over tonight? He's never asked me that this early into the day. Something's up. Did he hear the rumors? Is that why? I wait about a minute or two until finally texting back. Yeah. And when I send the message, it shows up as read instantly. He had the chat open though. Unless he's completely alone, he'd never risk sending me a message in public. I never expected Baxter's plan to work this quickly. It's a little exciting, and a little alarming too. But in any case, this is what we expected to happen, and now I'm going to have to face Jacob directly. And that's where I'm going to leave it for today. So, we got to spend a little bit more time with Baxter. In fact, we were officially starting our plan. Or I should say Mylo's officially starting his plan with Baxter. And it seems to be turning some heads and getting some positive results, I guess. Everyone is looking at them. They're probably gossiping about what's going on between the two of them. And, I mean, it seems to be working. Talking about the whole little conversation that Mylo and Baxter had, it kind of seems to me that Mylo is having one of those moments where, you have your friends and your family, people that you're very close to, people that you feel sometimes, that you don't want to, disappoint, you don't want to let them down, you don't really want them to really know, the ugly side of your life and stuff like that. I think for Mylo, Baxter is presenting that type of person that he can feel comfortable speaking with, in the sense that he can say things that he would not be able to, either out of shame or something, say to either his friends or his family. That's why he might be feeling a little comfortable with Baxter. You'll see a little bit more of that as the story continues, though. What else? I certainly hope that our dear friend here, though, is not starting to fall for this guy, though. I mean, I know it would probably be ideal for him to get somebody that is a bit more, or seems to be a bit more involved in your life. But at the end of the day, this is just a plan between you and him in order to be able to, I guess, fix their situationships. And we don't really know if Baxter is swinging both ways. He might just be somebody that is comfortable enough to be able to do this plan, but not really to, go all the way, or to just dump the other person that he really likes. But then again, I suppose that could be a sort of parallel between Mylo and Baxter, where they're both really into two people that don't really want to give them the time of day. Or maybe not give them the time of day, but don't want, again, to commit to them. But yeah, anyways, Now, the whole thing with Liz. Liz is supposed to be Mylo's best friend, and here he is basically keeping things from her. And he knows that he shouldn't. It's bad that he is, but he is. That's probably gonna come back and bite him in the booty. Hint, hint. Anyway, so yeah. What are your thoughts? Write it down in the comments, and thank you all for watching / listening. If you would like to play What It Feels Like, you can do so by going down into the link in the description, which should have a direct link for the itch.io page where you can download the game and play it. Or you can, play one of the other 2 visual novels, which, I already did one of them, but there is still another one. I may or may not do that one. It depends. But yeah, if you would like to support the project, though, they do have a Patreon in case you want to, get early access to builds of What It Feels Like. If they do that, or whatever it is that they do, that will be down in the description, along with my links, in case you want to support me through other means. In case you don't want to be a channel member, but you do want to, do like a one-time support or whatever, Anyways, I guess that's it for now, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.